It's April 26, 2012. I'm about 2 weeks away from the 2-year anniversary of me starting the United States of Football. And throughout this process, I mean, you go 2 years without drawing a paycheck, you borrow money for 2 years, and there's going to be some stress involved. And there's some, occasionally there's some negativity. But during this process, when I felt at all stressed out or felt like I didn't have my bearings, one of the people I would think of was Sylvia Mackey. Sylvia Mackey is an incredible woman. She's incredibly positive in circumstances that are way more difficult than anything I've ever imagined or endured. And she is a true inspiration, and in my estimation, one of the heroes of the United States of Football. Sylvia is a brilliant orator, an inspiring person, and just totally awesome.
I began to notice little strange things about my husband, to the point that I even started to make a list of these strange things, because I'm thinking maybe one day I need to take this whole, all of these episodes to a doctor and just tell a doctor what he's doing, and then maybe the doctor can tell me what to do. Every time we went out to a restaurant, he would choose the table where he wanted to sit so that he could, as he said, see what's coming at him. And what he meant, when we said, what do you mean, what's coming at you? He said, well, if a car is coming down the street and it jumps the sidewalk and it comes crashing through the restaurant, I want to see it so that I can get out of the way and get you out of the way. I said, oh, no, that's going a little bit too far. A friend advised me to take him to a neurologist. The neurologist suggested a brain MRI or a PET scan. The result was frontal temporal dementia, with extreme shrinkage on the left temporal lobe, which controls emotions and judgment. I had noticed that his emotions and judgment had been going downhill maybe 5 or 6 years before that. The diagnosis for me was a relief, because now I knew that something had to be done. He had a disease. We had to deal with this. This wasn't something that was going to get better. So I knew I had to change my lifestyle, and I didn't want to lose patience with him.
But what you've got here is a situation where a couple can no longer be a partnership. And the woman is having to take over not only the income earning, the protection of the family, but also having to baby her own husband, having to treat him the way you would treat a child, but a child who will get worse instead of get better.
I could now let all of my anger and frustration go, because I knew that wasn't doing any good. I know that these kinds of feelings are very negative and self-defeating. Number one, I'm a very positive person, and I know that anger and frustration produce a lot of negativity, and negativity works against you, and then that just takes you backwards in things that you want to do to go forward.
And as someone who dealt with a mother with Alzheimer's, I have to say it's probably the most stressful thing in the world for a relationship and for an individual who has to deal with that. It's hard even to watch a parent decline, but to watch the partner that you loved, and part of what you loved was not just their physical being, but their mind, their humor, all of these things you shared, to watch that just drip away every day is devastating, I think.
I also wanted to keep my husband active in things that he loved to do, taking him to the Super Bowl every year until he could no longer go, taking him to the Hall of Fame ceremony every year. But what I noticed at the Hall of Fame, because everyone knew that John had dementia at that time, was that there were more and more wives who were coming up to me asking me questions about my husband's behavior, comparing it to their husband's behavior. They're saying, Ollie's acting weird, Joe is doing this. These are no secrets, these names that I'm going to mention. I also knew that there were other players who were not there because they had Alzheimer's and dementia. And the names went through my head. Ollie Matson, Willie Wood, Lou Creekmer, Jim Ringo, Pete Pihos, Joe Perry. Then I remembered Colts that John played with, Bill Pellington, who had passed away from Alzheimer's. And then then Don Shinnick recently passed away. Eleanor's husband, Ralph, Larry Morris, Sisto Averno, who played with the Colts, and I'm thinking, something's wrong with this picture. And I ask you, how many of you could name 5 or 10 people that you know, I want a show of hands, who have the Alzheimer's or dementia? There's one. Are you healthcare professionals?
No.
No? Okay. You know 5 or 10, of those 5, okay? Did all of them have the same profession in their 20s?
Yes.
Okay, then you know what I'm talking about.
Nowadays, I think most modern Americans really expect to be two individuals who come together and unite and learn from each other and change with each other. And that, of course, is what gets derailed when one person gets a debilitating mental disease, even more than a physical disease. That's what gets derailed.
These guys are the legacy, whether you're Hall of Fame or not. You guys are the legacy of the NFL. The NFL is thriving on these foundation players, on these greats who are the pioneers of the league. These diseases are 100% incurable. They are 100% fatal, and 100% will destroy and devastate a family financially. And nothing being done? This isn't right. The league could not let these players lose their dignity with such devastation. So I'm very happy that in all of my efforts that I have found a bright spot. And that bright spot is that I call my husband the poster boy, which he would have wanted to be the beginning of help for so many if he knew that something devastating like this would happen to him. So now it's up to me to pick up the ball and run with it to the end zone of solutions. And I intend to carry out this mission with hopefully the ultimate goal being that we won't need the ADA plan anymore and that there will be a cure. Thank you so very much.